Hello, let's get graphic. What is wrong with me? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Iasmina. In today's video, I want to recommend some graphic novels and manga to you guys. So this is a genre that I read every once in a while. I definitely don't read as much as I would like to sometimes, but I have tried out quite a lot of different manga series and graphic novels, and these are just some of my favorites that I would warmly recommend to you guys. Let's start off with graphic novels. I think the first one I have here is the first volume of Sandman by Neil Gaiman. This is called Preludes and Nocturnes. This is a very dark graphic novel, both in art style but also in thematic content, I would say. But at the same time, it's Neil Gaiman, so it still manages to have that sort of layer of humor and wit about it. But from what I remember, I've read this a while ago, but from what I remember, this handles themes of death and also dreams and nightmares specifically. And I think it also takes a lot of inspiration from mythology. So yeah, I think fans of fantasy would definitely be at home here because first of all, Neil Gaiman. Second of all, I think the themes in this are similar to a lot of fantasy series. And so I think if you haven't started the series already, I think you should definitely give this one a try. Next up, I have Persepolis, the story of a childhood by Marjane Satrapi. This is only the first part. I have actually not read the second part, but I really want to because I loved this graphic novel. So this is actually a memoir by the author about growing up in the Islamic Revolution in Iran. And it just talks about her childhood. As you can see, the style is very simplistic, but it doesn't really detract, honestly, at all, because what's really important here— man, my white balance is going crazy. What's really important here is the story and the characters in this, not so much the artwork, I would say. But this definitely touched me, and I think it was really well written, and I really should get the second part of this as well. Then I have Lumberjanes, Beware the Kitten Holly by Noel Stevenson and a few others. Why do they never write the full names of the authors on the front? Making me work here. Written by Noel Stevenson and Grace Ellis, and it's illustrated by Brooke Allen. Yes, this is a very funny graphic novel. It's a big cast of characters of all women who are at this camp in the middle of the forest, and hilarity ensues. They get into a lot of mischief, and let me show you, every chapter is sort of trying to earn a certain badge, right? So they're like these scouts kind of thing. But they basically get into a lot of sort of supernatural, fantastical trouble. I won't say more than that, but I think this was hilarious. And I think the art style is actually really nice. Let me just show you a bit more. It's very colorful as opposed to the other one I showed you. So yeah, highly recommend this one. Next up, a very yellow graphic novel. This is Giant Days Volume 1 by John Allison and Lisa Treeman. This is more of a slice of life contemporary story. These characters are in their first year of university, and we just basically follow their daily lives. And again, it's sort of like a big cast of characters, and they're all rooming together, and, you know, they're just getting into a lot of trouble. But this one also handles themes of sort of growing up and, you know, dealing with identity issues and things like that. And it was very sweet and funny. Definitely a lot of laugh aloud sort of moments in here. And the art style, I wouldn't say it's anything special, but I think it just works for the story, honestly. I love the color scheme of this next one. This is Paper Girls by Brian K. Vaughan and Cliff Chiang, and this is a very Stranger Things-esque kind of graphic novel. It's definitely sci-fi. I just love the color scheme. There's a lot of purples and blues and pinks. I dig this. This is set in the 80s, and it follows a group of paper girls who are delivering newspapers, and there is aliens and other paranormal things involved. I'm not gonna say more than that. I really enjoy this one, and I would definitely highly recommend it. And then I want to talk about a couple that I don't have physically. I read these on Kindle. The first one is also by Brian K. Vaughan, and that is the Saga series. I think this is actually one of the most popular graphic novel series. It's a sci-fi/fantasy graphic novel series. It's definitely adult in theme. I would not recommend this to young readers. It has quite a lot of adult themes in it, and it's really, really funny, I would say. And I really, really enjoyed this. I think I read the first 3 volumes of it. I really should continue on with the whole thing. But basically, we're following these 2 characters who are from 2 different alien races who are not supposed to be together. They're very opposed. These races oppose each other in their politics, but they are together and they have a baby together. And this baby is basically illegal, and now there's a ton of people on their heels trying to take this baby away from them. But again, it's written with a lot of humor, and it's the same author who wrote Paper Girls. Then I have the Lock and Key graphic novel series. This is quite a horror graphic novel series, I would say. This is actually by Joe Hill, who is Stephen King's son. So yeah, definitely following in his father's footsteps. But it's all about this old creepy mansion that these characters inherit, or I can't remember how they stumble upon this mansion, but there's basically a lot of locked doors and locked things inside of it, and they sort of start going through it, and creepy things happen once they start opening all of these locks, as you can imagine. Highly entertaining. I'd really recommend this series. Next up is a really, really weird graphic novel series. This is Chew by John Layman and Rob Guillory. This is kind of a... oh man, I don't even know how to describe it. It's definitely a detective story, but this main character has a very strange talent. He can solve crimes by eating things, and that oftentimes includes eating human flesh or even corpses. Yeah, it's like that. Give it a try. I don't think it's for everyone, but you might just like it. Alright, and the last graphic novel series I would like to recommend is Alex and Ada by Jonathan Luna and Sarah Vaughn. And this is a love story between a human and a robot. So basically, in this not so distant future, there are these very, very highly realistic robots that are meant to replace humans for people who cannot find a romantic partner, for example. And so the main character gets one of these androids and he falls in love with them. Yeah, check it out. I really enjoyed this and I would like to continue on with this series. Okay, then let's talk about some manga. Now, as a lot of teenagers, I had an anime phase. Yes, I would not like to open that particular box of Pandora because it's not fun. It's not fun in there. But I did have that phase and I used to watch a ton of anime. However, as an adult, I started reading manga instead because I prefer reading over watching things these days mostly. And these are some of my favorite manga that I've read. There's a lot that I still want to read. I think I'll just start with my favorite, honestly, because they're right here at the top. Oh no. This is the Orange series by Ichigo Takano. These are collected editions, so there's only 2 of them. This is the complete story, so volume 1 and volume 2, which I need to fix. This is my favorite manga series that I've read so far, and like I said, there's only 2 volumes, so it's really short and you can finish it really quickly. It's more of a slice of life type of story, but it definitely has a fantasy element to it. So basically the main character in this receives a letter from herself 10 years into the future with very detailed instructions on what to do in order to prevent the death of one of her best friends. That's where the story starts. And yeah, I won't say more than that, but I would highly recommend this series. It was really sweet. Keep holding it the opposite way. Mangas, right? It's very sweet, very funny, but also just generally really, really good. And yeah, I love this one. Next manga I have is Ouran High School Host Club by Bisco Hattori. And again, I only have the first volume here, but I have seen the first few episodes of the anime. I'm pretty sure most of these also have anime adaptations, by the way, in case you're curious. This is about a host club of boys, and the main character is a girl, and she accidentally breaks a very, very valuable vase while inside of this host club, and because she's very poor and she cannot pay for this vase, these boys sort of hire her as a member of this host club, and she basically has to masquerade as a boy and entertain guests. Yeah, it's a little bit like that, but definitely very funny and just really silly and ridiculous, but in a good way. And we have Fruits Basket Volume 1. I have also seen, I think, the first season of the anime, actually, before I read this. This is by Natsuki Takaya, and this is also one of these sort of fantasy / slice of life type of anime or manga that is very, very cute and very sweet. Basically, there are these 12 boys who can each turn into the 12 different animals of the Chinese zodiac. And this main character, a girl, she kind of stumbles onto these boys' secrets and she starts living with them, and you can imagine the kind of thing that this is. It's very sweet and romantic. It definitely has that romantic element to it, but it's very funny and I would definitely recommend this. And the last manga in this video is Tokyo Ghoul by Sui Ishida. So as the title suggests, this series is about ghouls. Ghouls? Ghouls. I'm not entirely sure which version of that this is, but basically these ghouls have to eat humans in order to survive, and the main character goes on a date with a beautiful girl who he thinks is a normal girl, but no, turns out she's a ghoul and she has to eat him. Yeah, this definitely has more of a horror vibe to it. It's definitely not like the other ones that I've shown before. They're definitely more contemporary and fun and romantic. This is more horror, but really, really good. Okay, I think those were all the graphic novels and manga that I wanted to show you guys today. I definitely want to read more, so I definitely think I'm going to buy some more this year because I actually don't have any on my shelves that I haven't read yet, so I should definitely refresh my collection of graphic books. And yeah, I will make, of course, another video at some point when I've collected more favorite graphic novels and manga. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if you've read any of these and what you thought of them, and what other manga and graphic novels would you recommend to me and to other people watching this. Leave those recommendations in the comment sections below. But yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe, and otherwise I will see you next time with a new video. Bye!